Hi, Anastasia.
Hi, Brianna.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
So good. Thank you for
Great.
being here.
Thanks for having me.
On National Greek Independence Day.
Yeah, that's right.
What an exciting day.
It is very, I feel very proud.
Good. So we're going to talk about your solo
All right.
that you performed and choreographed.
Right.
And I'm going to butcher the spelling or the pronunciation. Can you pronounce it for me?
Yeah, it's called ALLAGI, which means transition or change in Greek.
And was that a big inspiration for you, the title of it?
Actually, the title came along at the very, very end of the creation of the solo. Yeah, which is very odd.
Mm-hmm.
So I started creating just a bunch of movement just for myself. Then I found the music, and then I realized that what I created was about my transition and my change to this country and to this culture. Yeah. So that's why I named it ALLAGI.
Cool. Did the music come first, or was it the movement first?
The movement came first. I was just playing around, creating stuff.
Because I found the music to really drive your movement forward as an audience member, just watching from backstage. The gorgeous instruments that were used. I think it was kind of like a flute, or
it was a clarinet.
A clarinet.
2 clarinets, but it sounds like a flute at some parts.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah.
It was actually mind-blowing to see how my movement that I created without music actually matched the music, or vice versa.
Just kind of worked out there.
Yeah, it worked out, and it was the whole creation of this was, for me, very mind-blowing in the way that it happened subconsciously, and it ended up having such a big I don't know how to explain this. It had such a big dynamic for who I am, and I realized a couple of things about myself.
Oh, nice.
So
that's great.
Yeah.
Did it because I know sometimes when you choreograph on yourself, it can be a little bit, pressuring or sort of thing. Were you comfortable doing that? Did you find it was easier?
Because I know it was going to be a lot of pressure and stressful for me, I decided to take it on very easy and just start moving around and just playing with movements and trying to figure out how lines and how to break lines and just create some movement. And then I realized that it all came out of me, and I had a story to tell, and just by playing around and just listening to random music. I remember when I first started creating this, I was listening to rap music and
nice.
Just really creating movement for my own.
Okay.
And then this came out, and I was like, wow, this could be really easy if you don't put so much stress on yourself and think about it as such a big thing. You can with small steps, you reach your goal, which for me was to finish this solo and show it. And it started very, very easy, and it ended up being something that I'm proud of.
That's so great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I when I watched you do it, I can tell that you're really connecting to you as a person. It's very personal, I find.
Yeah.
And I actually have never seen you dance in that sort of way until then I saw it. And I'm wondering if maybe you choreographing on yourself, your body, your strengths, your weaknesses, that kind of helps you to figure it out. Yeah.
It was a big part for me. I was like, okay, what can I do? What can I do that I look good at? I can do a couple things, but some things look great, some things don't look great at all. That's with everybody and everything that we do in life. So I was looking for things that I feel good in, and I don't know, inspire myself to do. I'm happy to do this movement because I like this for this specific reason, or I like how this looks on me. So I played a lot on things that I liked and things that I like to see from the mirror. The mirror had helped me a lot to create this. But
in a positive way, right?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes. I think like that this solo, I expressed myself with like the fullest of myself.
Like I could totally tell that.
Yeah, it was
Absolutely.
I loved creating it, and it happened really quick for me. I was just playing.
Right.
That's all I was doing, just creating movement in my living room, not even at a studio, just thinking about it. And then when I went in the studio, looked in the mirror, saw how I liked things, didn't like things, and it just happened. And then the music came along after the fact.
Wow. Okay. So kind of just like topped it all off.
Yeah, like I was thinking what kind of music could go with this. I had silence. I played with my breath, like just using my breath. I use a lot of different type of music or no music at all. And then I thought about, the fact that you're Greek and you just moved here not so long ago. Maybe you should like show this to your audience. This is about you. This is only you. You only got yourself on stage.
Right.
So might as well show who you are.
Exactly. Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, and there's something interesting about connecting to your heritage and your background when you create art and when you produce it on stage, especially. For me, when you have like a story to tell, it actually creates like better art. I mean, what is good art, what is bad art, but for me, like I love listening to a story and I want to watch a story. And maybe you could talk about like what it means for you to be a Greek Canadian making art like this.
Well, for me, this specific piece is about my transition from a 15-year resident of Greece, like I was born and raised there, to moving here and being in a culture shock.
Definitely.
Because it was a big change for me. I didn't know the language. I had family here because of both of my parents were born here. But I was born in Greece. So it was a big transition for me, learning language, trying to figure out how people do things here, what's acceptable here, what's not acceptable here, or if there are things that are acceptable or not acceptable, or if everything goes. Like it was a lot. I learned a lot about myself. I always say this, like Greece made me like street smart in ways, and like I feel like I don't want to say something that sounds rude, but I feel like Greece can make people more mean towards life and rude towards life. Where here, I feel like I became a nicer person and more understanding about things and people and giving people second chances.
Interesting. Okay.
In Greece, sometimes, not all times,
right,
but that's what I learned. It was very strict and very do it now or don't do it at all kind of a thing.
I mean, yeah, like I was in Greece this summer, and as you know, and I guess I understand, like there's a little bit of a bluntness to how they converse with people, and
most of the time is joking.
Right.
Most of the time, I mean, a lot of times,
great, right? Yeah.
Greek people can be like, they sound very aggressive towards other people, but it's joking, or like it's we're trying to make people feel comfortable, but we have our own way of doing that.
Okay, yeah.
Which a lot of times a lot of people don't have the sense of humor and they don't understand. But it's a little tougher. So maybe because of the things that they're going through there now, or situations and things. But yeah, here I feel like things are more acceptable. People have a place here. Everybody's involved. It's a multicultural community.
Yeah, definitely. And like people like you who have immigrated and come and helped, shape the melting pot and the mosaic that is Canada. It's totally helping. Great. Yeah, and I mean, definitely as a creator, you need to understand what you're trying to say to someone. What you're putting on stage is is also like a conversation. And your movement for me was very, like, it had so much dynamic to it that I felt like you were giving us the whole entire background of your life in those like 3 to 5 minutes or how long it was. Like, I don't know. Did you find a little bit that you really had a clear understanding of what you wanted to say?
At the beginning, I didn't.
Okay, which is fair.
I didn't know my solo was going towards that way at all.
Mm.
I had no idea that my body just said that story without me even realizing that I was saying my story.
That's
I don't
so
know
beautiful.
if you understand what I mean.
It's so beautiful, yeah.
And, when I realized what I actually subconsciously was trying to say.
Right.
Yeah, it wasn't easy. It was not easy. My movement, I think, not all of it, but parts of the movement and the quality that I used shows like it was really abrupt and it was really harsh and it was really like there were times where I was devastated. I wanted to return back home. I didn't know if I chose the right decision because it's about like a choice.
Definitely.
Do I make this choice or do I make that choice, or do I go back to where I came from, or do I just stay here and fight it until I find out what's good for me or what's good for my future? So yeah, the movement quality, I think, and the music helped me a lot with it after I put it all together.
Yeah.
It really represents what I went through, and there were times that were okay, and like they were soft, if I can say times were soft, but they were easier.
Yeah.
And as the time went by, I feel like now I'm like walking in a straight line, know what's going on, instead of me like scrambling around trying to figure out what is Canada,
Believe me, I'm doing the same.
How am I doing this?
Yeah.
How?
That's so
and
great.
like life on top of that, like, you know, from the age of 15 to 20, a lot of things happen within those years. Like,
same.
you know,
we made it.
It's everything goes on. Like, there's a big question mark in these years, and you're just trying to figure it out. Yeah, I think that's what I really was trying to show my audience.
Nice. Yes. Totally agree. Do you want to remount it? Do you want to continue with it? Or is it like a Choreographic Works thing?
I mean, it's a part of me. It's a part of who I am. It could be remounted. It could not. It could just... This could be the story of my first 5 years. This could be it. But I could potentially continue the story and say... For example, like the next 5 years from the age of 20 to 25, I don't know, like.
Right, yeah.
But I mean, like, I'm really happy with what I created and the way that it all came together, like from the movement and then adding the music, and then at the very end, like thinking, oh, wait a second, what you just did here was about your transition, your ALLAGI, like the way it all came together. I wouldn't want to change it. But for sure, I would love to perform it again if there's a chance. I mean,
maybe even in Greece.
Yeah, I would actually, I'd love to do that in Greece.
That would totally, I feel like, change the atmosphere.
Yeah, and I feel like, from what I've seen, it's something that Greek people wouldn't necessarily do with that specific type of music, because we have, like, the traditional types of music, and... I don't think they would choose that kind of music for a contemporary piece.
Right.
Because the clarinet, it's a northern, it's an instrument from the northern Greece, where my dad is from, Epiros.
Oh, okay.
So, we listen to that kind of music, like, in events and stuff, and, like, I always admire the clarinet and the way it's so unique on its sound. So
Mm-hmm.
I used it, and I don't think people in Greece will necessarily use a traditional song
Okay.
or genre to create contemporary dance.
Well, that's just what makes you different, I guess.
I don't know. Maybe.
You can like pull from, you know, Canadian and Greek, and like you say, from your dad as a Northerner. That'd be awesome. Yeah. Cool. Well, thank you so much for sitting with me.
Thank you for having me. This was great.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you.